Check one. Hey, welcome everyone. Welcome back to All Things Fitness. This is your host, Cross the Christian Cyclist, and today we got another phenomenal guest, a friend of mine, Alvin Smith. How you doing?
Doing great. How about yourself today?
Oh, man, I can't complain. It's a beautiful day. We've been waiting for some good weather, and it looks like it may have finally arrived. I looked at the forecast for next week, and we're going to be in the mid-60s, some 70s. I just can't wait to get outside and get some cycling in.
I agree with you there. Definitely.
So today, to set you all, to set the table for today's conversation, Alvin, this podcast is really going to encourage you, to let you know that no matter how old you are, no matter what age it is, it's really a mindset and a dedication to just fitness. And Alvin, I think, is like the poster child for this, right? If I can say child in this manner.
I'll take it. At my age, I'll take it.
At the age of 66 years old, and I'm going to let Alvin tell his own story, but at the age of 66 years old, this man of God is truly phenomenal, avid cyclist, an athlete in all respects, unbelievable fitness level, and to function at such a high degree at your age, Alvin. That's what I want to really dive into that, because there are so many people that I know, friends of mine that I've grown up with, others that I know, and a lot of times they had this misnomer that when you get to a certain age, you're just not able to do the same things you were able to do. And I have the kind of mindset to say, well, no, not necessarily. You just have to learn how to do it differently. Our approach has to be different. Yeah, there are some physical things that I can't do the same way I did when I was in my 17 or 18, but there are some things I don't even want to do, right? But correct. I don't limit myself. I'm turning 50 years old this year, and I just, I'll be honest with you. I'm in better shape now than I've ever been in my life. I kid you not. I mean, youth allowed me to do some things when I was younger, but far as fitness, I wasn't as fit. Like, my overall fitness, my watching what I eat and my intake and all the things that I do to stay fit now, I think is the best I've ever been. So let's talk about your journey. Tell me, Alvin Smith, tell me, like, how long have you been around or involved in athletics?
Wow, we're going back to the 70s now. It's been a while. I started out athletics in high school, like probably most of us did. I think I played like 3 or 4 different sports. I wrestled for a couple of years. I played baseball my freshman year. I played football my last year in high school. Moving on to college, I ran track in college, played football in college. Then afterwards, I think I probably took a little bit of no breaks there. I played a lot of intramural sports or club sports after that. Then when my kids were born, I took a little bit of break at that time. But even then, I've always been active. Okay. I kind of relate to the Greek philosophy of taking care of the mind and body. So that's always been in the back of my mind to pursue that self, not only developing the physical attributes, but mentally also. So let me ask you this. So in your younger age, in your younger years, was that like a goal of yours to just say, I want to stay in this certain level of fitness even into my older age, or you was just doing it because you just enjoy athletics, of various things? Basically, it started out enjoying the sport.
Okay.
During the course of my career, at times, you may hit injuries and you lose some of that fitness. At that point, I think in the back of my mind, into the forefront, when I get myself out of shape because maybe I'm nursing a ham injury or some other injury, I did not like the feeling of being quote unquote normal. I like that feeling of being in condition.
A superhero.
Well, I wouldn't say that,
but so all right. So we're talking now to someone that maybe they work out. maybe they do a little bit of, some sports, and maybe they was athletic in school or when they were younger, and they kind of, like a lot of us, right? Life happens. We have families, you have work.
Correct.
And so you kind of get distant from it, but they want to find their way back to it. What advice would you give that person that's, in that place of stalled, being stalled, but know they need to get back involved?
Something I tell all my athletes: persistence and consistency. And it's a long journey back, and it's like anything in life, you're going to have your highs and lows, but as long as the graph keeps trending upward and you stick to it, you eventually get back to that place. It's like when we just had a conversation earlier, you may not be able to do the things you did in your 20s, but you can do things now based on knowledge and experience and be in better shape now than you were back then.
So what's Alvin Smith? What's Alvin's secret to functioning at the level you function at 66 years old? How do you do it? I'm not. We don't have to have the formula, the recipe, but in sense of like the mindset, like how do you wrap your mind around functioning at this level? You just went and climbed Mount Lemmon. That's 29 miles, over 9,000 square feet of elevation at 66 years old, and you still doing it. Like, what does it take?
I like a challenge.
Okay.
That's what motivates me. I'm a normal person off season. If I don't have a challenge, I kind of digress a little bit. Okay. But if I have a challenge in front of me, I accept it. And then after that, as far as it's about putting in the work to get there. Even when I
go ahead. No, go ahead.
Yeah, I can say that. That's what starts me when I was coaching youth.
Okay. We
have a challenge. We start in August, and our goal, every youth team I had in football, let's say when I coached a traveling team in Naperville, was to be still playing in December.
Okay.
And in order to be playing in December, that means we're in Florida. That's a little bit of a goal to put out there for those youth that, that nothing comes overnight. You have to put in the work. You have to be diligent. Consistency and persistence, that comes up again. Okay. To do your due diligence and take it step by step and go after that goal. It's like anything in life.
Let's hit on that for a second. So with this younger generation, and you've done some coaching of youth. How many years have you coached the youth, whether it be high school or just in general?
Well, I've probably had 6 years coaching the traveling team, youth football, and I've coached what got me into it is coaching my own 3 kids from youth track, youth football, soccer. So it's probably been over combined maybe 15, 20 years of coaching them.
Okay. What would you say is one of the biggest challenges for motivating youth to, go that extra mile? Do they have to be naturally gifted? Is it a mindset thing? I guess what I'm looking for is, I've noticed this generation with computers and everything else, you really don't see the same level of activity. Like, even for my children to me, it's like my children would go outside, but I lived outside. Nowadays Correct. You almost got to kick a kid outside. So what is it that you think helps motivate the youth? What tactics did you use to motivate them to stay active?
It's a couple of different things. I think for getting them motivated, one, goal-centric things. Why are you here? Mm-hmm. And for youth, I'm a big believer in they got to have fun.
Okay.
They have to put in the work, and it's different than playing with your buddies, and you can't just stop when you want to stop because, you're on a schedule, but you got to enjoy it. You got to have fun.
Do you think that's one of the problems that we have today with athletics and the money that's involved, especially when you talk about basketball, football, people are, from the coaches to the parents. And I got another show coming up with Adam. I can't pronounce the last name. I got to get his last name correct. I don't want to butcher it live. But as a youth, his parents kind of really, the expectations was so great and so intense that it put so much pressure on him to where he didn't perform, and it sent him into a down spiral. So do you do you think that's one of the problems that we have today, is that pressure we put on these kids?
Yes and no. Yes, in the sense that coaching a traveling football team, I've seen it a lot.
Okay.
The kids have success at 9 and 10, and the parents are looking at, okay, I got a D1 scholarship football player on my hand. And that's not really the case.
Okay.
The percentage of kids that start off in youth football, they end up playing at a high level is probably less than 1%.
Okay.
And it's based on a lot of different factors. You can be great at 9 and 10 and be the biggest, fastest guy out there, but just genetics. Okay. You don't grow anymore, or you just don't have that extra gene, or you meet some kid from West Texas that's running 4.3 in the 40. There's nothing you can do about that. There's a lot of factors go starting at 9 and 10 and you to coming out of high school, going to college that the parents don't see, or they're not thinking about that, which puts a lot of pressure on the kids. And then here we're back to having fun again, because now there's no longer fun and a passion. Now it's an expectation that they got to go out there and perform. And it just might not be in the cards genetically for them.
Okay. So yeah, that's interesting, because, that's going to be a topic of a show that I got coming up, dealing with just the pressures of youth in sports, and how dynamic and how things are changing over the years. And, to your point, the job of the parent, the job of the coach is to be able to see further than the child, right? But we have
Correct.
to keep it fun for them, right? We got to make sure
exactly
they're able to enjoy the journey, because it is a journey, right? And so getting back to you and your journey. So you're an avid cyclist.
Yeah.
Why cycling?
Well, before I took up cycling, I used to run Masters track. Like I said, I ran track in college, and I ran track after that, and I think late into my early 50s. And after a while, it takes a toll on the body. And at the time I took up cycling, it was funny because I was talking about that with a workmate of mine, that the knees were starting to feel the aches and pains of the pounding of running. And I used to run Masters track. And sometimes I would go to my former alma mater and jump in a track meet and run against 19, 20-year-olds. That was, I just wanted to finish before the next race started. Right. But it was fun. And he was talking to me about we should do this cycling trip. And he talked me into getting the bike, and we were supposed to do the cycling trip. We both went with different assignments, and here I am stuck with a bike at the house, and what do I do with this bike now? And so that's got me on my cycling journey.
Okay. And how has cycling aided you, even at this age, to still be active or still be the athlete that you are?
Immensely, because I've got the opportunity to go different places, to ride with different levels of people, learning a lot, seeing a lot. So it was always something there to provide me with that challenge, riding with a group of guys that may be a little bit faster than me, to where I can say, well, maybe in a few months I can keep them in sight. Mm-hmm. Or going over to France to do some epic climbs that, I can have that memory when I hang up from there to do that. Like I said, for me, it was always the challenge.
Let me ask you this, and this kind of a little bit off topic, but sort of on topic. You just said, so you go over to France, you do this epic climb. Here's a problem that I'm having. My wife and I will go on vacation, right? And right. I don't know if this is a thing with cyclists, all cyclists, or is this just a thing with me? And I tell you, I'll go with one mindset to say, hey, we're going to go, we're going to have fun, and we just two of us, we're going to do our thing. And I get there, and it's like all these hills, or I see the perfect road.
Right.
And all of a sudden, it changes the whole trip. Like, I'm so upset, or I'm so missing that I don't have a bike with me right now. It's like.
Exactly.
So that's not just a me thing there.
Right. After a while, you don't talk about certain places going, you talk about certain challenges that are there at the place you're at.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So you use cycling to really keep you in the shape and the condition. I know you do other things. That person that's, I know quite a few people that's looking to, maybe they dealing with obesity, maybe they dealing with just other ailments and different things that go on with the body as we get older. Would you be one to recommend that if they were looking for a way, would you recommend cycling as a way to attack or address these things?
Oh, most definitely, because and not just cycling, just anything where it keeps the body moving. Right. It's been known that the human body is the one machine that gets better with activity.
That's right. Well, you bring me to a spiritual point. God created us to move.
Correct.
We were designed to stay in constant motion. That's why we age every day. We were designed to keep moving. So to your point, when we stop moving, that's when we allow things to kind of catch up with us, if we will.
That's right. That's right.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Let's talk about this climb you just did. You went to Arizona. Yes. And I'm gonna bring it up. Let me get this up real fast here. You went to Arizona, Mount Lemon, and let's talk about it. What makes someone want to go? And some people say, man, you lost your mind. Why would you want to travel to Arizona first from Illinois to ride 29 miles of 9,000 feet of elevation? What does it take for a person to want to do that?
Well, one, Arizona was in the 90 degrees. So while you had 20 degrees here, so that helps.
Okay. Somebody else said, well, you could have went to Florida on a beach, but you went to Arizona to climb a mountain. So tell me about Arizona. What was Mount Lemon like?
Mount Lemon probably rivals the mountains over in France. It may not be as steep as some of those, but the 25 or so miles of climbing it is relentless. Once you start, it doesn't stop. So again, it's a challenge. It's a good way for me to get my base miles in and get my mindset ready for the summer. So you used, I'm a big time hill repeat person. And I just believe, and I want to hit on that as a cycling coach. Let's hit this for a second. I am a firm believer, right, that during that base season, I believe that when you use hills, you accomplish both. You hit all aspects of the cycling that you need, your cardiovascular, your muscular, right, your thresholds, your lactate acid thresholds, and you build the natural strength. Even if we don't have Mount Lemon type hills here in Illinois, but the strength that you're able to build, the endurance you're able to build, only makes you stronger on the flat. Would you agree with that? Yes, in the sense that when you ride on a flat, you may not push your sub-threshold level totally for the entire ride. If you don't have wind or it's flat, you get tired. When you're climbing, you have no choice but to push yourself up, or you're not going to get there. So why do you?
Oh, go ahead. Finish that thought.
No, and plus, like you said, it works a lot of different muscles. It's in the older days, early on, before people got scientific and started lifting weights for cycling and such, they had no choice but to climb.
Oh, okay.
That builds natural strength time.
Do you think cyclists because there's a lot of cyclists that avoid hills, like that's just they do everything they can to get away from it.
right.
And when you're training your cyclists and your team, is that something that you all make a focus, or like is that something that you think is mandatory if you want to be an all around good cyclist? What's your idea on that?
If you're going to be an all around good cyclist, yes, and I'll give you 2 points. One, at Tri-Labs, we did have a 6-week period where every time the class came in to ride, in the background, they had to do the interval workout on a 2% grade. So they're climbing and doing the workout.
Oh, yeah.
So I can tell you how important that is. Two, as a coach, I like to study people at a higher level than me.
Okay.
And let's take the professionals. Every base camp they go to, they're climbing. And then these are the pros.
That's right.
Professional triathletes that I know. I went and did a camp in San Diego with one of the top professional triathletes. And guess what he had us doing? Climbing.
Oh, wow. Wow. How do you feel when you go in those environments? Do you feel confident in your ability? I mean, when you did this camp, let's hit that for a second. You did this, how long ago was that, roughly?
That was roughly about 3 or 4 years ago. Okay. We were in San Diego doing a tri camp with Andy Potts. That was the triathlete,
okay.
The pro triathlete.
So
yeah.
You still in your 60s, right?
Right. Yeah, I was early 60s. Yeah.
And you at a tri camp, working out with triathletes. Average age is whatever, right? And how confident going in do you have in your ability to say, oh man, I'm about to go over here either to make a fool of myself or I feel good about, I feel like I'm okay.
I have confidence in myself that if I do it at my pace, I'm going to get through it. I'm not going to do it at their pace. I'm going to do it at my pace.
So then that brings up another topic about the mindset, the mental aptitude that's needed. And we're talking about cycling, but for the listening audience, this transcends to everything, because I say it all the time that half the battle is mental. A lot of cyclists, and I'm talking about cycling, but we're talking about all athletics. Doesn't matter if you're a runner or football. If you're not conditioned in your mind to push yourself through or have confidence in your ability, then we lose a lot. I see a lot of people not functioning at their potential because of the mindset.
Correct.
You see that a lot?
Yes, because cycling is a sport of pain, in the sense that in order to get better, you have to suffer and you have to be able to push that envelope to get better. Most people are not going to push the envelope to get better because they don't want to suffer.
Right.
But over time, if they follow the process, they'll see improvement.
And you're not telling them to go out and hurt themselves. You're saying
no, not at all.
There's a proper way, but you do have to get used to the pain.
Discomfort. You have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable.
That's another spiritual quote that we have in the church. We always say, God always, just when you thought you was comfortable, he'll make you uncomfortable. But that's the only way you can grow, right? We don't grow when we live in our comfort.
That's right.
Comfort it's enough to just let us know that we've overcome that level because we're comfortable now, right? But there's always another level that you need to be uncomfortable to overcome.
Exactly.
Oh, wow.
Exactly.
I love that.
It.
So is that at 66, are you still trying to reach another level?
Always, because once you get comfortable, you start digressing.
Okay. So spell out to me what that level looks like for you. Like right now, where you are, what's the, I'm trying to get a secret so I know how to beat you the next time we ride. Tell me what that level is.
Okay, when you wake up from that dream. Just kidding.
Okay. I love it. Good stuff.
No. For me personally, and I've said this to some people, friends of mine that are there's going to come a point where my window of physical activity is going to close to do things at a high level. And so right now, I'm trying to take advantage of every opportunity that I can to go out and perform at a level that I can expect certain things out of myself. I mean, because like I said, 66 years old, at one point, when I hit 70, 80, I'll probably still be riding, but I'm not going to fool myself that I can ride at a certain pace or climb certain mountains. That may not be the case. So while that window of opportunity is there, I'm going to keep pushing the envelope to perform at what I deem is a good level for me. And my journey may be different than somebody else's journey. Like I coach people younger than me, and I always tell them my goal is so that when you get faster than me, I have a wheel to hang on so you can pull me home.
Hey, you know what I love about that is, and I'll ask you this question. So you just said there's going to come a time where your window closes, right? And we know inevitably that's always the case. But let me ask you this. At 45, did you think at 66 you would be operating at this level?
I probably didn't think that much about doing it. I knew that I was going to stay active.
Okay.
Because like I said before, I did not like the fact that if I wasn't active, that feeling. Okay. So my goal was to always stay active and stay within a certain parameters of a certain physical level for myself.
Okay. So I say that to say that even at 66, you may hit 80 and still functioning in a way that you can't even believe, because you've done all the work and you're putting in. And I think the way we take care of our bodies now plays a huge role in managing, our fitness, managing our nutrition, managing the things. And, I talk to younger athletes and I say the things that you take for granted, I can't take for granted.
Correct.
Right. The older we get, the less room for error we have. It's our bodies is not as forgiving.
This is true. This is true.
So it's very possible that, because I tell you, I couldn't imagine at 50, walk me through a day training for you. I just not even walk me through a consecutive, like a week. Let's do it this way. Walk me through a week of training for you. Let me show you how, audience, I'm going to show you how ridiculous this is.
Okay. We'll start with Monday. Okay. This Monday, I woke up at 4 o'clock to meet a group at 5 o'clock to do weightlifting.
Okay.
So we went and lifted weights for about an hour. They left at 6. I did a few other things, probably till 6:15. Then I did an hour of Stairmaster. Hour and a half Stairmaster this week. Then I left the Stairmaster and I went and played in the pool for about 40 minutes. So that's Monday. Tuesday, today, I did back-to-back cycling classes. Each class an hour long, and they have strength in between each class. So I had a 2-hour CT session.
And this is not you just coaching folks, it's you riding too.
Yeah, riding and coaching, because I do the first class, I'm coaching, I'm on the bike, and then the second class come in, the other coach is there, and I'm riding also.
Okay.
Tomorrow, Wednesday, I'll be back in the gym lifting again.
Okay.
Thursday, usually it's the 2 back-to-back classes, but this week we're talking about doing a long ride Thursday, so I may be on the bike for 4 or 5 hours indoors.
Oh, wow. Friday,
I'll lift, Stairmaster, and I will swim.
Okay.
And last Saturday, we did a 5-hour ride indoors. Sunday, I have a course class where people come in and ride, and we'll put on a course. Last week, we did the Tour de France time trial course to ride for a couple of hours.
So, so you log in, what would you say hours per week, roughly, roundabout?
Probably 10 to 15, maybe.
10 to 15 hours. But you know what I like about that is it's 10 to 15 hours, which is a lot of hours, right? Because we haven't even gotten into the season yet.
Right.
So how much does that change when we get into season, right? So we're just entering into cycling season for us in the Midwest. How much does that change hours-wise?
That will change probably. Depends on when my next event is. My weightlifting, I'll probably cut back some because I'll spend more time on the bike. I plan on going to Colorado to do triple bypass. So that's 100 miles and 10,000 feet of climbing. So that's a long day. So now I'll be spending more time on the bike when we get outside and a couple other events that I'll be doing. So that will probably change from 10 to 15, maybe to 17 to 20. Just depends on my progression and where I'm at on my event date.
So you basically at this point, sort of like me too, right? We have certain target events that we put on the calendar, and your training is really geared toward which, and this is for you cyclists or you out there that's trying to find a way to stay motivated. The best way, one of the great ways to stay motivated is sign up for some events. And because you have a carrot in front of you, you got something to kind of work toward versus just riding to just ride. Does that work for you that way as well?
That's my carrot. That's what I have to do to keep me motivated. Okay. Put something in front of me that's going to put some doubt in my mind that I know I have to get out there and do the work. 10,000
feet, how many miles?
100 miles. Over 3 mountain passes.
So you don't just want to doubt. You see,
fear.
Doubt is like horrible hilly or something like that. 3,000, 5,000 feet. You 10,000 feet a century. That's more than doubt for me.
Right.
When is this event? When do you do this event?
It's in August 20th.
Oh, August 20th. Oh,
yeah.
Man, I'm gonna look at my calendar, but it's one of those dates that pop in my head. I just can't remember what I do August 20th. But that sounds very interesting. Very, very interesting. Well, hey, we almost out of town. That time went fast, didn't it?
It did.
And you was nervous about it. See, this went really quick. I want to let me see if I have this here. I want to have an opportunity for you to kind of talk about Tri-Labs and what you guys are doing over there. Encourage, there's a lot of athletes in our area that's looking for a great coach. And I know you and Mary both and other trainers are doing great work over there. So why don't you give people some information about where you guys are coaching at over here in Tri-Labs?
Okay, we're coaching in Plainfield on Industrial Drive off of just south of 119th Street. Sorry, I don't have the address on the top of my head, but if anybody wants to contact me, you can contact me at Alvin at triathlonlabs.com. Especially people, cyclists and triathletes. I mean, we coach a little bit of everybody, runners also.
Okay. I know one of the cyclists that I were talking to, they seen the broadcast. He's a triathlete, Raphael. Actually, he's the one that won Hammerfest, our event that comes up at the end of the year. June 20th, I want to say, August 20th. I'm sitting there like, why does that date sound so
familiar?
August 20th. He was talking about reaching out to you guys because he had seen the first podcast with Mary, and he liked what he had seen concerning what you guys are doing over there. And now this is AMP. You can go to the website here also and get the information. And what is that? Let me see if I have the actual website. It's what is that? Athletic Movement.
Movement Perfected.
So go to athleticmovementperfected.com. You can get in touch with them. They do great work over there. Great trainers, even yourself. Like I said, man, you are a great inspiration and motivation. Not only to me, I mean, at 50 years old, I thought, I could just say when I was in my 30s, first I thought 50 was old. That's first. Until you turn 50 and you realize how much life is in front of you, and when I'm out there riding with gentlemen like yourself and others, and you look at me like, okay, that's the young guy. I'm 50. Like I'm 50. How can I be the young guy?
Yeah, right.
But that's the beauty in this sport, right? In this sport,
right,
you can be 50 and be the young guy, and that's miraculous. And you can still
improve.
Yeah,
right. And you can still improve. Correct.
Yeah, and that's miraculous. So that's why I encourage so many people, man. If get on a bike and just, you don't have to even go at it the way we go at it, right? You don't have to go climbing 10,000 feet of elevation and get excited about that. If you just riding around your neighborhood, find a good social group to ride in, just to stay active, stay moving. But I believe it adds years to your life, life.
Without a doubt. It's been proven too. Like we mentioned earlier, the human body is built to move.
Yes.
And the more you have it move, the less you have a chance of adding stress and fat. The more subcutaneous fat that you have in your body, the more opportunity is for you setting yourself up for failure or sickness and disease and stress. And that's just a proven fact.
Absolutely. All right. So before we close out, and I hate the time has run out so quickly on us, but it has. Right. But before we close out, I want you to just speak to this audience, and even if some short, just if you had to say some words of inspiration, someone that's maybe struggling, they older, and they saying to themselves, they really, they don't have the energy to do it. They don't have the willpower to do it. They don't think they can do it. They, maybe they've been told throughout their lives that, you're too old or whatever the case. What would you say to that person?
I would probably tell that person, keep a positive attitude. You do you. It's your life. It's your journey. And in order to get to where you need to go, the only person that can do it for you is you. I've coached a lot of youth, and you get the accolades for coaching them, but the actual people who did the work was those kids who went out there and worked out every day. They were consistent, they were persistent, and they had a positive mindset. So no matter what your situation is, you can improve on it one day at a time. Just take it one day at a time, one step at a time. Don't look years down the road saying it's an insurmountable thing that I have to overcome. Take it each step day by day.
Well said.
Work towards your goal.
Thank you again, Alvin. Man, I so appreciate you taking this time out your day to be with us on all things fitness. You've been very inspiring, encouraging. I can't wait till we get together to ride again. I always enjoy the fellowship and the push. You always have a great group of athletes around you. So it's one thing's for a fact. If you're riding, we call them the bullies. If you're riding with them, you definitely going to get a workout. That's for sure.
Well, but thanks for having me. Really enjoyed this.
Absolutely. All right, guys, listen, this your boy Cross, the Christian Cyclist, and we're wrapping up. Again, come back, catch us on episode 4. Like anything else, it's going to be phenomenal. I pray that you were inspired on today. I hope and I pray that you heard something that will just get you motivated to get active, right? Our focus is cycling because we're cyclists. And I've seen what cycling has done for me in my life. I ran track as well, but it doesn't matter if you're just walking around the block or, you just find a way to start moving, and don't let age be a factor for you. Don't let age be that thing that holds you back because you believe that you're at an age now and you're not able to do it. I am a witness, and Alvin Smith, who you just heard from at 66 years old, is a living witness that age ain't nothing but a number. All right, again, it's your boy Cross, the Christian Cyclist, and Philippians 4:13 says, we can do all things in Christ who strengthens us. I believe it, I live by it, and it is true. See you next time.